Okay, so today we're going to be looking at functions, and functions are super easy. Now, they might look intimidating, but trust me, they are super easy, and I'm going to show you how easy they are by making one right in front of you. So we make a function in Python by doing the following. We type in def, which stands for define, short for define, but we use def, and then we type in something like make sandwich. Actually, let's just make it much simpler, right? We'll do def uh, plus 1, plus 1, like this. And now what this is going to do is inside of this function, I'm going to write what I want this function to do. So I'm going to say, and inside of this, I'm going to put x. So I'm going to say print x plus 1. So whatever I give to this function in the form of x, it's going to be plus 1 is going to be plus to it or added to it, and it's going to give me the sum of these two numbers, right? Which is going to be x plus 1. Now, I know you're thinking this is really complicated, it's really hard. It's not. Just keep watching. It's really simple, okay? And matter of fact, when you're doing the homework, you don't even need to be using proper Python. You can just use pseudocode. So as long as it sort of makes sense and you're using code-like language and you're structuring it in this way where each command to the computer is on a different line, that's fine. I'm not expecting you to write perfect Python right now, okay? So let's take a look and see what we can do this. If we type in plus 1, well, if we type in plus 1 like this and do nothing, well, you can see that it says plus 1 is missing one required, meaning you need this, positional argument x. So you can see that we gave it this thing here. Now that means when I call plus 1, I need to put something inside these brackets. And it has to be a number. Because if I put in n, well, that is not a number. So you can see that n is not defined. If I put in something like n in quotes like this, it's going to say you cannot do math with strings. Okay, let's get rid of that. With strings, which are basically letters and words, right? Which makes sense. We can't say Kasim plus 1 or Henry plus 1. That doesn't make any sense, right? It's not going to make any sense. So what we can put here is a number. So we can put 1,000, and now it's going to print 1,001. We can put in 1, it's going to print 2. We can put in 5, it's going to print 6. So you can see whatever I put in here is going to plus 1. Get rid of that. It's going to plus 1, just like I've put here, right? As a matter of fact, instead of saying print 1, we can say return x plus 1, and it should do the same thing. Let's see if it does. Okay. It does not. Well, that's fine. Okay. So we'll put here sum, and then we can print sum, which is a bit long-winded, but it gets the same thing completed. Okay, now it says 6. Wonderful. Okay, so in your homework, you're asked to make a sandwich. And super easy to make a sandwich, right? All we're going to do is make 3 print statements. So we're going to say make sandwich here. And this function is not going to require... Actually, you know what? Let's type in filling, right? And this is the type of sandwich that's actually, we'll stop with that first and then we'll put in filling later. So we're going to put inside of this, we'll put inside 3 print statements, like so. Print, take bread. What else do you need? Print, take filling. What else do you need? Well, print, put filling and bread together. And maybe we can have a last step, which is enjoy the sandwich, like so. Now, if I type in make sandwich, like so, it should print off these 4 things. Really good, it does. Perfect, it does all of that. Now, we can think of functions as a sort of box where you give something to this box, and then the next time you look inside of this box, it adds something to the thing you put in. So for example, if you put in a ball inside of this box, well, if you try and open the box and take the ball out, it's no longer going to be a ball. Maybe it's now going to be a green ball or a red ball. So we're putting some information in and we're getting new information out. That is what we can think of. That is the analogy we can think of when we look at functions. So functions are also really useful in programming because whenever we want to apply a certain rule to everything that goes inside of the function, we can use a function. So I can do fancy things like this too. I can say filling, and you don't need to understand this, just sort of follow along and you'll see what I'm doing. So we'll say take filling, like so. Or rather, take, we'll do filling. Yes, like so. I think that should be correct. Okay, good. Now, and inside of this, we'll also put, there you go. Okay, let's see what happens there. Okay, good. Okay. So now, instead of having to maybe type in tuna sandwich or chicken sandwich or bacon sandwich or ham sandwich, I can just put in something like tuna, and this should print out, yes, take tuna, put tuna and bread together, enjoy the sandwich. Now I can do chicken. Here we go. Take chicken, put chicken and bread together. So you can see how I can now make a sandwich maker, and all I need to give to the sandwich maker is the filling. I could even get more complicated and say, oh, type of bread. Type of bread. Well, what could I do here? So here I can say, let's get rid of that. And I can do, maybe I'll do sourdough bread, which could be quite interesting. So we'll just type of bread here. Because remember, in here, inside of the function, we use the names we've declared here. And later on is when we actually name the type of bread, right? And we'll do this here as well, type of bread. There we go. Perfect. I think that should work. Let's have a look and see. Okay, so we do chicken. We also do sourdough, which is a type of bread. And now that should work. Aha, what is the error here? Ah, yes, I see. Here we go. That should work now. Good, so take sourdough, take chicken, put chicken and sourdough together, enjoy the sandwich. So this is essentially a function, and if you don't understand that, watch it a few more times, but it's like I said, it's like basically a box where you put something in this box, and the next time you look in this box, it gives you something new from what you put inside of it. Right, and with this function, we've made a sandwich maker, and all the sandwich maker needs is the filling and type of bread, which we've given right here, and then it can tell us how to make and enjoy the sandwich. Good. So let's take a look at this, right? Now, if I made this function and I wrote this twice, like this, what do you think's going to happen? Well, it's just going to be printed off twice, right? So you can see there is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's from the first function, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, which is from the second function when we call the function on lines 9 and lines 10. Really good. So that should also help you with part 2 of your homework. And okay, we'll continue. So your first function, and like I said, you're going to use pseudocode. It doesn't need to be serious code. It can be pseudocode. We're going to write a function, and the function is going to be for saying good morning. So maybe we can say greeting, right? Greeting, like so. We're not going to give it any arguments, which is what we call the things that we put inside the brackets. All we're going to do is say print good morning, and we're going to say print have a nice day. Now you don't need to say print, right? Print is Python code, but you can just say, oh, say good morning, say have a nice day. So you can use pseudocode, which is not really code, but it sort of shows me how you're thinking and how you've come to your answer. So you don't need to use perfect code like I have. You can just use it in the way that you want to, right? Just use some fake code. So now if I type in greeting, like so, well, good morning, have a nice day. Perfect, really good. So now for part 4 of the homework, you are going to want to fill in the blanks, right? So we have a function that's going to be called say hello. So all we're going to do is put in say hello here. And then it says hello there. How are you today? So we'll put hello there. How are you today? How are you today? Like so. And we'll use question mark. And then we're going to call the function, right? And how do we call the function? Well, greeting does not make sense, right? Because greeting was the name of the old function. So it would be, in fact, say hello. And that's part 4. Super simple. Not difficult at all. Okay, so now what I want to do is part 5. I believe part 5 is a little bit more complicated. And all you need to do is, like I did before when I gave the sandwich maker some extra information, you need to do the same thing. So now we're going to say hello. I'm not going to use the same code I used in part 5 because I want you to think about this a little bit more, right? So in part 5, you're instructed to write a function that's called favorite food that takes one parameter called food and then prints off, I love eating food, right? So let's put here fav food. And inside here, we'll do favorite, your favorite food. So we'll say hello, or rather we'll say, not hello, I love eating. And I want you to figure out this bit in particular, right? Two things. What goes after the comma? And here, what do I need to type in to call fav food, the function, right? This shouldn't be too difficult, actually. I mean, you can use pseudocode if you need to. You don't need to use perfect Python code. You can use pseudocode, but the important thing is you tell me what goes inside here and how to actually call the function. If you're stuck, go back to where I was talking about the sandwich maker, because I talked about giving further information to your function to then print out that information when you call the function at the end, like so. This isn't the correct call. We need to put something else here. Hint, the other thing we need to put in is on line 3 and line 6. I'm actually highlighting them now for you, Henry. So, yeah, have fun with that. If you need help, let me know, Henry. I really, really do mean that. Okay, so if you do need help, you can just ask someone to message me, or you can message me, and we'll find a way to make sure you understand this assignment. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you very, very soon.